Hey, what's up guys? So I'm actually commentating over a duel that I already actually played, and the reason why I'm doing this is just kind of a general talk about elemental dragons. I mean, the duel was not a very interesting duel at all, because elemental dragons, they are such an overpowered deck. You'll see I make a first run Light and Darkness Dragon. Had my opponent went first, he would have won for sure. He was playing the Karakuri variant. The Karakuri variant can actually draw 6 cards and still have a huge field. Basically, they have OTK, and on top of that, they still have 6 cards in hand. It's really nasty, and basically, my opponent can't do anything. A first turn Light and Darkness Dragon has superior advantage over like every deck. There's very few decks that can actually make use of getting around a first turn Light and Darkness Dragon. Plus, I already had a 2800 beater, so even if he got over it by getting rid of like his whole hand, it wouldn't even have mattered. Basically, elemental dragons, the duels are not usually that interesting. However, a lot of you guys have requested me to play it. I've already played the deck. I don't find it that interesting to cast, but if you guys want to, I'll just give you guys a brief overview. And what it comes down to is the deck, there's so many reasons why this deck is just so good, because you can synchro if you play the synchro variant. If you play the Karakuri variant, you definitely synchro up. Although, generally, the first turn for that deck, I personally find the first turn Light and Darkness Dragon Draco Sack variant to be the best variant, especially if you get to go first, because you guarantee yourself wins when you go for Light and Darkness Dragon first turn. The thing with the Karakuri variant that my opponent here was playing, he would have made it a whole bunch of the level 8 Karakuris, then he summons one of the ones that changes the battle position. He draws one off of each, overlays all 3 of the level 8 Karakuris for this card, where you get to reveal one card and then draw, and then if it's a monster you burn them or something like that. But basically, he gets to draw 6 cards, has a feel where he can OTK. And the thing is, if you were playing against Mermails, if they draw Dark Hole, they can go Dark Hole game. And that's the thing where I like Light and Darkness Dragon over it, because if you go first in Elemental Dragons, you should be able to pretty much just win. Even if you go second, you can just throw up so many cards where your opponent just doesn't have the back row to answer. Even if they have the back row to answer, don't worry, you can bottomless my cards, I still get effects. They're just way too good. So, what it comes down to is what I could have potentially done on the field. Let me just kind of explain what I have on the field and what I could potentially do. So I have 2 level 7s right here, and I could actually make a big eye, and then I can take his face down, just in case. Let's say, for example, let's put the worst case scenario, the face down card was a, I don't know, penguin soldier to return something. I mean, I don't know what else it could be. But anyway, something that would hurt, but it doesn't matter. We would steal it with big eye. On the field, I don't believe I activated my Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon's effect either. So, I actually could still banish 2 dragons, and I already had a Light and Darkness Dragon that was removed. This is actually the second one that was actually removed from Eclipse Wyvern, so I can actually add this one back. All I have to do is banish 2 dragons. You can see from title over here, all I have to do is banish 2 dragon-type monsters from my hand or my graveyard, and then I can just special summon them, so I would get another Light and Darkness Dragon out. And therefore, I could still, like I said, I would have went for a big eye, and then I'd have 3 monsters, and then I'd steal it, so I'd still have 4 monsters. I could then summon this guy over here, Tidal, and then I could still tribute summon 2 cards to make a Light and Darkness Dragon. So on the field, I would have his face down. That doesn't even matter. I would still have a big eye, but that couldn't attack. I would still have a 2800 attacker, a 2600 attacker, plus I would have a Light and Darkness Dragon. That's well over 8,000 plus the Light and Darkness Dragon on the field anyways. So you can see just the amount of advantage this deck can actually generate. And like I said before, it doesn't really matter what your opponent does, because even if they Valor you, it doesn't really hurt, because you can still special summon them from the grave. And that's just what makes them just so good. I mean, usually when you get Effect Valor, it doesn't really matter, because they're all huge attackers anyways. I think this one might be the lowest one as far as attack. There's one that has huge defense. It has 3,000 defense and I don't know, 1,200 attack. It has kind of low attack, but it still has huge defense. So the problem with the deck being too good is they have too much attack. You really can't punish this deck. But I just wanted to give you guys a brief overview of what the deck does, because a few of you guys asked me, how do you play this deck? And you play this deck by just winning without your opponent even playing. It's kind of a mean deck to play, but as the meta goes, it is going to be the toppest of top tier decks. Plus I had Reborn. I mean, I had Super Game simply because I went first. That's what it really came down to. Had he went first, he could have potentially gamed me. And I mean, it depends what he drew into. If he drew into back row, he could have potentially just totally gamed me. But there is still a potential for me, just because I can still make a whole bunch of stuff like Big Eye and take his stuff. and then maybe I could have came back. So what it comes down to is, as far as Elemental Dragons go, the deck is like super hard to beat first turn. If they go first turn and they get out the Draco Sack Light and Darkness Dragon, like the variant I was playing, you are almost set up to lose. But I mean, there are other cards, like for example Treeborn Frog, which comes back during the standby phase, and Treeborn Frog will actually make Light and Darkness Dragon lose all of its. You can get Treeborn Frog infinite times, and Light and Darkness Dragon will keep on trying to stop Treeborn Frog from coming out. But really, what it comes down to is still Elemental Dragons. They don't even care, because you destroy my Light and Darkness Dragon, it's cool, get a 2800 beater out. So still a very nasty thing to deal with. But if I can find some card, I know that there was that one card that I talked about yesterday where you can spell summon and your opponent can't XYZ. But as far as the Oshiji goes, they just use that as synchro material. So it's like, oh, you're just giving me a free monster, thanks. So that is the problem with Elemental Dragons. This one doesn't have any really synchro power. I mean, I could throw in some Veilers in there, but you don't even really need a normal summon, and you have still like the nastiest field to deal with. But anyways, that's just kind of like a brief overview, I guess if you want to call it, of Elemental Dragons. I just feel so dirty playing this deck, but I will, just because I like to deliver for you guys. I'll be playing some of it, and I'll commentate, and I'll try to upload games that are at least like decent, where my opponent at least gets to play. But this duel I didn't feel bad, because he was playing like the Elemental Dragons where you could draw 6 first turn and like basically have game. But anyways, thanks for watching, and let me know what you guys think of Elemental Dragons. Personally, for me, I think that they're awful for the game. I mean, the problem with like even the Ophion is you have this guy. This guy, he discards himself and another fire monster to target one card in the field, and he destroys it. So, Ophion, I wish you were maybe a little bit better. That way Elemental Dragons would have like an awful matchup. I mean, you could argue and say Elemental Dragons can technically have a bad matchup if they don't have Blaster, but there's so many like draw power cards like the 7 Swords, the Gold Sarcophagus, to just search out the Blaster Dragon. But anyways, have a great day, and let me know what your thoughts are on the well, they were the Suppressors, and then they were the Elemental, then now that they're Incarnate Dragons. So let me know what your thoughts are on the Dragons, or if you guys know how to beat this deck, please let me know, because I want this deck to like lose. I want to be able to beat this deck, and at the moment, Light and Dark Dragon too good first turn. But anyways, thanks for watching. Asian Ice signing out.